What's up, Movie Chump fans? This is Corey and Luke, and we just got out of seeing James Gunn's Superman, so this is just our out-of-theater reaction. Really not going to have any spoilers, so don't worry about that. So I'll turn it over to Mr. Mayo first. What'd you think?
Yeah, I can't believe he dies at the end. I mean, it was fun, funny, and exciting. I love this movie. Not a masterpiece by any chance. I'd probably have it like an 8 out of 10, kind of in that B+ range, but a strong B+ and a strong 8. We must have laughed in there about 15 different times. It was a lot of fun.
This movie was a lot funnier than I was expecting.
But not in a goofy way.
No,
I should say in a goofy way, but not in a distracting way, right? Like they threw in a jab here or two.
Yeah, everything, the humor works. I think that was one of the things I was worried about is like the James Gunn humor, not going to play well. And it plays very, very well. And I got to say, Luke, too, for me, it's interesting. This movie took me about 20 minutes to get into.
Same.
Because I was like, I wasn't quite vibing. And I was like, I'm not sure what's happening, how I feel. And then something happens that we'll discuss when we do our podcast next week, that everything just kind of clicked. And I was like, okay, I see what he's doing here.
I like the way you articulated that, because at the beginning, same, 20 minutes in, I'm just kind of like, all right, this is kind of a different way to start the film, right? It almost felt like a part 2 in a sense, like a sequel to a movie. And just the way they introduce some of the characters, you're kind of like, oh, okay, this is interesting. People just randomly showing up. And then all of a sudden, yes, there's a clicking that goes on. I loved the chemistry and the camaraderie between Superman and his buddies. I loved Lois Lane in here. Of course, Nicholas Hoult doing his thing as a real crap hole of a Lex Luthor.
What an evil asshole. You were just waiting for him to get his comeuppance by the end of the movie.
And the tech bros behind the keyboards. They were a lot of fun to hate.
Oh, God. It was like the Apple what do they call the Apple tech? I don't know, the Apple bar.
Right.
It's like the asshole Apple bars.
Facebook guys. Yeah, pick your favorite tech company that you like to hate.
I gotta say, Eddie Gathegi as Mr. Terrific is a standout. What'd you think?
Yeah, I never heard of the guy before. I knew nothing about the character. Even in the trailers, I thought well, what's this guy doing? He's flying around. He's got this half-assed mask on.
Right.
And he had me cracking. I mean, to the point where 2 minutes later, I would think back to what some of the things that he said and just start cracking up again. Great delivery too, right? That subtle, just smooth delivery of the lines. I really like the writing. I bet on the page this didn't come across as super funny, but in reality, it came to fruition on the screen. Lots of laughs.
What I will say too is interesting is that, and I really feel that you need to know this, and it's not a spoiler, so to speak, is that check your expectations of what you think a Superman movie is supposed to be at the door. It's like we've gotten 50 years of it almost, but this is James Gunn dropping you into a fully formed comic book world. And I think, Luke, you're either going to be vibing with it or you're not.
Yeah, and to be honest, I've said it before on the podcast multiple times, CGI, too much of it, kind of bothers me, kind of takes me out of the zone. Not really the case here. I mean, there's a ton of CGI. Yes, it's frustrating at times, but for the most part, I stayed within the story. It had that comic book flavor. Even the look and the feel, everything was vibrant colors, right? There was nothing really dark or gray. Right. So yeah, I think that kind of keeps you going. Even if you come into this thinking, hey, I liked the Snyder version. I liked a lot of the kind of the brooding, more dramatic, cinema. I don't know, that cinematic
Wagnerian
feel.
Type stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I think when you come into this, it's kind of nice that we already have that in the bag.
Yeah.
This is just a nice addition to the Superman buffet.
This is, without a doubt, a Superman movie and story, I think, unlike we've ever seen before, which is kind of what I was hoping for. I kind of agree. I think if you're a hardcore Snyder bro, you're probably not really going to like this movie. What's your thoughts on David Corrye? I thought he owns this role, and he is Superman. Only thing I wish is maybe a little bit more Clark.
Yeah, a little folksy, charming. I like the fact that he felt like it was one of us. Where with Henry Cavill, I almost didn't get that. It felt like some Greek god that happened to be in the U.S. and on Earth. Wasn't the same with Corrye. I felt like he was a guy that I kind of grew up with. I felt like he was one of those, the star receiver on your football team, but who's also a Boy Scout, who also kind of, treats like everybody in school the same, right? That kind of noble, like all-American kid,
Inherently good.
Yeah, inherently good, and they get into that, right? There's a lot of morality, and he talks about that. There's a couple scenes where they really hit you over the head with, like, just that moral compass, which I love to see. So.
I can't, there's a couple times that I think I even teared up a little bit.
The scene with him and his father, of course.
And there was another one I can't quite remember now, but it's just like, I hate to say this, but I kind of feel like this is the movie the world needs a little bit right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
In my mind, because, there's a lot of shitty things going on right now, and this just, I didn't have anything but a big goofy grin on my face at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I mean, I think for one of the big downfalls, I would say, is there's almost like so much going on and so much plot in terms of like what they wanted to do with Lex Luthor. It was like, we got to have all these conflicts going on and all these extra side characters, where I did think it took away a little bit of the Clark Kent aspect.
Yeah.
Like what you said. You don't really get that many minutes on screen of Clark Kent. I don't think you necessarily needed it, didn't hurt it, but it would have been nice to kind of set the tone, I think. I'm excited about the next one, whatever they do.
Yeah.
And it's similar to that feeling I had at the end of J.J. Abrams's Star Trek reboot, where you get done with some of the final scenes there, and you want to hang out with that crew again.
Yeah.
It was like that here with the Justice. What did they call them? Not League.
The Justice Gang.
The Justice
Which Nathan
Gang.
Fillion, by the way, guys, hilarious as Guy Gardner.
Outstanding. Don't worry about the haircut. It's the gum chewing, the line delivery. It was a really funny. I laughed more at this movie than in most comedies I've seen.
And I can attest. And the crowd was really into it too. I could tell.
A lot of good laughs.
Good energy. I thought,
Yes.
that was kind of upbeat about it. But overall, I'm kind of with you. I'd give this a strong 8. I'm looking forward to seeing it again on Sunday with my son to kind of settle my, I don't want to say settle my feelings, but like kind of give it that perspective, I think, from this.
Yeah, I think you need that second watch. This also, I'm not a big, like, you have to see it in the theater guy. I think this one you do with a crowd. So I would suggest not going at, like, noon on a Tuesday. I would suggest going on a weeknight when you know there's going to be a decent crowd. Like you said, just to kind of vibe and feed off the energy of the other folks in there.
Well, that's going to be it for us. Overall, we really, really liked the movie. Going to talk much more in depth of it next Wednesday when we do our podcast. But for the meantime, I'm Corey Van Castle Cook.
And I'm Luke Mayo.
Of the Movie Chumps. We'll see you guys next time.
See you at the movies.